Hey y'all, well today Daisy and I have got a jam-packed episode for you. And we got all the news going on out there on trail. We got who's on trail, who's summited the trail, who's finished, and all kind of news out there. So let's go ahead and get started. The best news I got for you and Daisy has for you is that Mama's home. That's right. So Trail Boss, if you're a subscriber to this channel on a regular basis, you know that that you probably got the post that Trail Boss was in the hospital. So not going to get into all that, but appreciate your prayers and your great wishes and your good vibes, whatever you sent our way. We're out now. We're back home. That is never a good thing to be in the hospital, obviously, but it really just sucks in general being there. But after running every test that I could possibly think of, we still don't know the original reason of why. We know why she went in there, her symptoms, but the doctors can't tell us why she got those symptoms. So story continues. But anyway, thanks again for everything y'all thought about us and prayed for us and sent our way. Greatly appreciate it. Now let's talk about the hikers out there. So we don't have a lot of 2025 hikers because, well, it's summit season and most of them have summited. Did not have a huge amount of Sobos and flip-floppers that we've been tracking, so we're looking for those. So if you know of any, send them our way, or you're one, send them our way. Love to track you as you keep going. We'll talk about the 2026 class out there, and actually 2025/26. So we got Monarch. Monarch is out there on the trail. Started their through hike there on September 21st, and they reached Fontana Hilton on October 8th, and that's where they're stopping for the winter. So that is kind of, if I ever do a through hike, that's kind of what I thought about doing, was starting the year before numerically that I plan to finish and getting as far north as I could, and that would include for me getting on through the Smokies. So I want to start in mid-October, around the time when Katahdin closes, so I've got a full year, including a hiatus during the winter, to get off trail and not have to carry such a huge winter load, but anyway, get through the winter. So that's what Monarch's doing. He said he's hoping that's going to put him slightly ahead of the bubble and, more importantly, ahead of the norovirus. And so that was in overcrowding in shelter. So that was one of his reasons doing that. He said his trail weight, fully loaded, including water and food, so that's all consumables, was 28.5 pounds. So pretty respectable weight. That's pretty much what I carry in the winter. Don't carry quite that much in warmer temperatures. So he's certainly not the only one that's out there on trail. Went back and looked at registrations with the ATC, and right now there's over 100 hikers that have registered to start from September to the end of this year. And I'm sure that number is going to go up. So if you're out there on trail, we want to hear back from you if you're a through hiker out on trail. Sorry, don't track section hikers. There's just too many of us out there. Now, but we did have some completions. So we got Firewatch. He finished September 29th, started at Springer on April 7th, and he was registered at Springer as hiker number 1,873, and he finished at Baxter or Katahdin there as hiker number 701. So appreciate you checking in, Firewatch. He didn't check in on a regular basis, but he did do that, and as with anybody, whether you checked in with me or not, we want to celebrate your accomplishment. So send in send in your summit picture or wherever you finished the trail, and if you summited as a pure Nobo, I'd like to know what your summit number was, and that kind of gives us an indication. Hopefully we'll find out who the last one was and know how many folks summited. And a shout out to, I'm sure part of his support team was his mother, Donna. I understand she's a viewer of the channel. So Donna, appreciate you watching, and thanks a lot for supporting Firewatch out there. And then we got Jennifer. So Jennifer was from the Woods Hole Weekend last year. So I talked to y'all a little bit about Woods Hole Weekend this year, where basically Woods Hole Weekend is just a primer, including a practicum, actually out in the field for through hikers that that are intended on through hiking the coming year. So we had a good turnout this year. We did last year, and Jennifer was one of those that was there last year, and she finished her through hike. Another one that finished a lot earlier, several months ago, was Luscious. So Luscious also was at Woods Hole Weekend last year, and he finished. So that's awesome. appreciate y'all checking in with that. So Jennifer started at Springer in Georgia March 24th and ended at Mount Katahdin on September 29th. So right around time Firewatch did. She said some surprises she had, the intensity. She thought it would be very hard. She said it was very, very, very hard. She knew there would be trail magic. And she said the generosity of the trail angels was epic. She knew she'd miss her family. She didn't know she'd quite miss it that soon. She missed her family within the first month. She said another surprise she had was it was very monotonous. Although the scenery and the people on the trail were amazing, hiking every day with no headphones, no book, music, podcast downloads, sometimes got boring and repetitive. And I can understand that. You know, it's hike all day, get to camp, set up camp, cook, go to sleep, wake up in the morning, break camp, cook, get on the trail, get water, rinse, lather, repeat. So that could get pretty monotonous for 6 months. She goes, there were fewer hikers in 2025, she said, and there were days when she barely saw anyone else. She didn't have any ticks. She maybe brushed off 2 tiny ticks. She said the slow pace was surprising. She estimated she'd be done in 5 months, and it took her 6 months and 6 days. Safety, she said no human or animal posed any danger to her. It was a trail itself that felt unsafe with roots, rocks, slippery rocks, fording streams, steep ascents and descents. She said the best days were her first day was her best day, and the last day was her best day. And the worst days involved waking up with a headache, rain, and snow. And I can sympathize with that, although I'm not a thru hiker. I've been on trail enough to know that it sucks to wake up wet, and it sucks to wake up cold, and it really sucks to wake up wet and cold. And a wet and cold gear adds about 5 pounds to your weight, which can be as much as, 15%. That's a lot when you're carrying everything you got that you need on your back. And then we had Van Gogh. He summited Katahdin on October 11th. He started March 12th down at Springer. And he said Riley, of course, hiked with him, his companion the whole time, but Baxter State Park doesn't allow dogs, so his father had to come pick up Riley, and that's where he ended his hike. He said the hike up and down Mount Katahdin was very, very challenging. He started at Katahdin Stream around 7 a.m., reached the summit at 1 p.m., so what's that, 5-6 hours? And he's a Nobo Pure thru hiker. So, that says a lot to how difficult it is. He relaxed on the summit till about 2:30, so hour and a half, and then started his descent. Got down through most of the hard part of the descent before dark, but he finally reached the trailhead at Katahdin Stream Campground after 8 p.m. So that kind of tells you what it's like to hike those last couple miles up to Katahdin and back, or up to Baxter Peak and back. He was number 851 of the Nobo thru hikers to summit Baxter Peak this year. He said he was number 889 when he started at Amicalola Falls and 322 when he arrived at Harper's Ferry. So, obviously there's been some folks ahead of him, and I think he took a little bit of time off there to do some other things before he finished. But in any case, that's awesome. Congratulations to you, Riley and Van Gogh. So if we got any more out there, please check in. Let us know. We want to celebrate with you. We got 22 hikers so far that are listed on the 2026. So the link to go, and if you're a thru hiker for next year and you have social media, or you just want to check in with me, either way works fine. If you want to leave that, there's a form link down in the description section. You can go and find that and fill that out, and that will populate you to the spreadsheet. And there on the spreadsheet, if you're somebody who is wanting to follow other hikers, then that is a good place to start, particularly with their social media, and support them all the way throughout their journey. So the spreadsheet link is down there below as well. So new hikers we got this week, we got that are new to the spreadsheet and the support list. We got James, Brian Breeding, Maureen Stathis, Lisa, Tim, Ted Johnson, Ben, Friar Tuck, and Squidley. This week, I am featuring the first one to sign up for the 2026, and that was Razzle. So Razzle is this is the second year he's attempting. Last year, he did not finish, and so he thought he was very prepared, but if you go and look at his channel, he explains to you why he got off. So this year, he's going to be more prepared and looking to finish it this year. Again, the link to that is down below, so you can go and sign up with that. And then also the link to sign up to subscribe to my channel is down below as well. Leave a comment, give me a thumbs up. I'd greatly appreciate that. That really helps drive folks to the channel so that we together can support more folks out there with the hiker community. Now, Daisy, if you're going to behave yourself, we want to hear from our sponsor. Yo, if you're sweating out all of your moisture and all your electrolytes, something's just missing. Something just isn't right. Whether you're at the beach or out here in the woods, you got to get those electrolytes back in your system, or else you're just not going to feel right. Things are just not going to be right. Well, the best way I know to do that is go with Element Drink Mix. Element Drink Mix has got all those electrolytes that your body's missing that you need to get back in your system. Sodium, potassium, magnesium, those electrolytes you got to get in your system to where everything's right with the world, right? Right now, if you go to drinklmnt.com/Ramdino, you'll get a free sample pack with every order, and they got a lot of great flavors out there. That's drinklmnt.com/Ramdino. Go and get you some. All right, so this week the news we got. So Whispers, our northern correspondent who handles kind of the New Hampshire, Maine area for us. So he's indicated that the AMC huts that are up there in the White Mountains, they are closing for the season. Lake of the Clouds and Madison are closed until spring. Carter Notch is already in the winter caretaker service. So none of these will have, you can't go there and, like spend the night. I think you can still get water at some of them. Somebody report in if they know what more of the services are. I have seen where some of them you can go and spend the night to get out of the weather, but they don't have any food services or anything like that. And there's no crew there, so to speak. But Lake of the Clouds and Madison are closed till spring. Carter Notch is closed. Lonesome Lake, Greenleaf, Zealand Falls, and Mizpah Spring is going to be closed October 18th, so that's in 5 more days. Lonesome Lake and Zealand Falls will be reopening a week later for winter caretaker service. He also said rains earlier this week and a couple of weeks have helped out the conditions up there as far as recharging aquifers and recharging water sources and stuff, but he said things are still extremely dry. Here's a graphic that he sent along that shows a large portion of the extreme drought that's in that area up in the New England states, and you can tell there is a large portion right there around the trail in Vermont and New Hampshire. And then also the Kennebec Ferry, the regular service there is now closed, so you can arrange for free service, but after September 30th, it's closed, and so you'll have to get a private ferry, which you'll have to pay. So during the normal year, it's paid for by ATC dues or ATC contributions, but now that is closed, and so if you want to arrange for a private shuttle or a private ferry, you'll have to do that at your own expense. New York, again, is still got a statewide burn ban from October 2nd to October 15th, which is 2 days from now due to increased fire risk. And of course, if that continues, they're going to just extend that out. And then I mentioned a couple weeks ago that the staircase there at Harper's Ferry, where you cross over the river coming out of downtown or lower town, you couldn't get off the bridge there. You couldn't cross the river because the staircase is getting ready to rebuild. And so they were building a temporary staircase. That has been done, so now that is open, and you can go north or south, either direction there, trail direction there, to access that, and that will be open until they get done with the staircase, which is going to be a couple months. So the shuttle there from the ATC or the National Park Service headquarters to Lock 34 is no longer in operation. And then Baxter remains open, but this is the time of year when it closed, so if you're within earshot of this, you hadn't summited, and you're a long ways away, you may want to think about flipping up. And then the end of day's hikes coming up December 27th. I'll be making some other announcements. We do have a Facebook page on that, which is links down below. However, it used to be I just allowed everybody to get on, and now because some jerk has one person tried to sell t-shirts on it, I'm not selling any merch. This is just a time for folks to get together on that particular site. And then somebody put porn. Of course, you can't have a Facebook page unless somebody's trying to ruin it for everybody, and we can't. This is why we can't have nice things, because somebody's wanting to put porn on there. So if you try to join it, it'll take me a while to get the notice to know that you've joined it, and for me to click over, check you out, make sure you're not some porno t-shirt seller, and then I'll approve you to get on there and you make comments on that. But we are starting at Oconee, which is in the southern western portion, I believe, and we're hiking to Table Rock. So some people have asked about that. There'll be some other stuff on there. Y'all, as people ask questions, a lot of you folks have been on this hike. We had about 50 last year, and we've had some folks like Flamingo. Is that right? No, I'm sorry, Fierce and Feather. They have been on it like 5 different times. They've been there from the beginning. Come Along has been there from the beginning. So if y'all see somebody asking a question and you can answer it, then please, by all means, feel free to answer that. Safety matters out there. This is deer hunting season up and down the trail, particularly in the South, Georgia, North Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia. Be careful out there. Wear something orange, an orange toboggan, which is not a sled. It's a thing you put on your head for you young whippersnappers out there. Or something on your pack, something that's orange. So deer hunters and bear season will be coming up if it's not already here. We'll see you. They're out there. So I know people like to make comments about they shouldn't be on the Appalachian Trail, but Appalachian Trail goes through National Park Service and National Forest Service where they're allowed to be. And so that's just a fact of life. And they're going to be out there. So let's play it safe. And we don't want anybody getting shot. Folks, that's all I got this week. As always, appreciate you, and we hope to see you out there.